Oh my. Oh my, it's time to start the stream. Hello, friendships. How's it going? How's it going? Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome. Hey, welcome to the stream. Man. Good to see you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for tuning in to the Ground Control live stream. If you somehow don't know, my name is Casey Ferris. I do YouTube tutorials about color grading, post-production, things of that nature. And I'm very glad to be here. Very thankful for you guys for taking time out of your day to come hang out with me for a little bit. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. So, how's everybody doing? How are you guys doing? What's happening? I am really glad to see you guys. So, here's the thing. Here's what we're going to be doing today. We are going to be doing some color grading Q&A. I will answer whatever questions about Resolve or color grading, post-production stuff that I can. I don't know everything, but a lot of you ask questions and stuff on YouTube, and I'm hoping to kind of get some good what do you call it? The thing where you interactivity for that. That would be sweet. So if you guys have questions about Resolve, about color grading, anything that you've been wanting to know, go ahead and post them in the chat. I will try and get to them. If I miss your question, I'm sorry, and we'll just try and go on like friendship co-partakers. That will be awesome. So also, I have a really cool announcement for you guys that we'll get to in just a second. Also have some LUT giveaways that I want to do. So we have a couple of LUT packs that we can give away. It can be your choice, and I will post in the chat when it's time to do that. Actually, let's start with one of those. How about that? Let's start with a LUT giveaway. So here is a link that should post. There it goes. If you click this link, you should be able to put in your name and email and hit enter giveaway. And what we'll do is I'm going to pick a winner from that randomly. It's like a computerized drawing thing. And the winner of that, if you just email info@groundcontrolcolor.com, you can win a free LUT pack of your choice. So that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to enter that, and I got to figure out how to do this stupid drawing for that. Hold on. There we go. I found it. All right. All good. So yeah. Couple minutes to enter that. And I'll try and get to some quick questions. Do you think Resolve is ready to be used as your main NLE? I have not been using it as my main editor yet. I'm thinking pretty darn quick, though. It will be pretty darn quick. I'm excited to see what Adobe's going to come out with. But for me, I use Premiere a lot because it interfaces with the other Adobe products really well. I already have the suite because I use Illustrator like every day. I use Photoshop a lot. Use Audition a lot, you know, and so it kind of makes sense to have the suite, and so I'm going to pay for it anyway. I already know Premiere. It tends to run a little bit smoother. Edits go faster in Premiere at the moment, but if I were starting from the ground up and I didn't have any of that stuff, I would certainly consider using Resolve. Certainly would. Yeah. So let's do 30 more seconds to enter the LUT giveaway. Here is the link. Click that and put in your info, and you will be entered to win a free LUT pack. And we'll draw a winner here about 20 seconds. So okay. Cool you're doing this. Got a question. How would you approach grading the Phantom Flex 4K? I'm having difficulties finding a good starting point. In fact, there doesn't seem to be a lot of information online at all. I bet that's true. I've never graded that footage. I don't have like any experience with Phantom Flex footage. Yeah. So I don't know. Is it really flat footage? I've never even seen it, honestly. So but how about this? I'll tell you something. Let me get to that in a second. Okay, LUT giveaway. This is your last chance. Last chance to enter. I'll give you 10 more seconds. I know, it's been the longest 30/20 seconds in the world. All right, I'm about to pick a winner. Here we go. Here we go, last chance. Okay, here we go. We're gonna pick a winner. Picking a winner. The winner is Travis Lewis. Travis Lewis, congratulations. You have won a free LUT pack from Ground Control. Email info@groundcontrolcolor.com. We'll get your information and stuff, and tell us what LUT pack you want in that email. Okay. Sick. So we're going to be doing another giveaway in just a little bit. You guys don't even have to re-enter. It keeps your names in the drawing and everything. And so if you didn't win, do not fret, because you'll have another chance in just a little bit. You guys are wonderful for coming and hanging out. Really appreciate it. Okay. One other thing I want to mention, and you guys, I'm going to try and go back up the chat and get some of your questions, but here's something I'm really excited about, okay? We are coming out with a new thing here at Ground Control that is hopefully going to be something that does more of this, more interaction between Ground Control company, me and Dan and Maggie. If hopefully we can get this going, and hopefully you guys like it, and it's called a Discord. So if you guys don't know what a Discord is, I will show it to you here. Hopefully it doesn't. All right. So Discord is kind of like if you've ever used Slack, it's like kind of like a chat room, sort of, kind of like a mix between a chat room and a forum. And like a messaging service. It's kind of all those things wrapped up in one, okay? And so what we want to do is use this platform called Discord, which is usually used for like communities based on live streams or based on games and like kind of interests more on like the live stream gaming side of things. We use it for some other stuff that we do. And so we've kind of noticed that it's really awesome for getting to interact with people. And we want to hear from you guys. We want to interact with you more. This is something that we hope will make our company better and hopefully serve you guys a little bit better, make better LUTs, better tutorials, better all of those things. Okay? So that's the point of this. And the cool thing is that you guys can join. You guys can join Discord. I'm going to put a link up here. If you click that link, it will take you to a page where you can download Discord. You can use it through your web browser. You can download an app on your computer, on your phone, on your Mac or PC, whatever. And it just comes up like this. And over here are different categories of things. There's like nothing going on right now because we literally just made it and no one's on it yet, okay? But once everybody gets on it, we should be able to talk with each other and kind of have some good discussion based on color grading stuff, post-production stuff, things with LUTs, things with ground control. This isn't just a place where we want to talk about ground control because we know like that isn't really that useful to you guys. We want to give you guys resources for learning DaVinci Resolve, resources for learning the art of color grading, ways to interact with us a little better. So up here we have announcements, we have like important things like rules for the Discord. We have Discord exclusive stuff. So if you join our Discord, you can sign up and get on there, and we're going to be posting an exclusive discount code tomorrow. So anybody who's on the Discord can get a super rad Discord. We're thinking it's going to be like 40% off any ground control anything tomorrow. So if you haven't signed up for Discord, go and sign up for that because that's how you can get that discount code. And so, anyway, yeah, I see a couple people joining already. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. Um, Over here we have like different categories. Here's general chat. That's just like saying hi, stuff like that. This will be a place where I can post tutorials. You guys can also post tutorials that you found helpful, not necessarily from my channel, but from other places. Here's a place to request tutorials. Here's a place to share tips and tricks, things about hardware, things about software, discussion with LUTs, other community things, introducing yourself, sharing your work, sharing music that's inspirational for color grading, like, and we're going to be adding and like changing this and making it better over and over and over and over. And so this will hopefully be a growing, like, dynamic place where we can all get to know each other a little better, share our knowledge, things like you said, like Catherine posted, like, man, I really wish there was more out there for color grading Phantom Flex stuff. That was Catherine, right? I don't know. Whoever said that about Phantom Flex stuff. It's like, man, well, you could post a screenshot and ask for people's opinions and people's, like, try and get help from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool. It's really, really cool. And this has been really helpful for other stuff that we've been involved in, and I'm hoping it will be awesome. This is something that we want to do for our community because you guys have been so awesome, been so supportive of Ground Control, so supportive of my channel. And this is kind of just a way to give back and hopefully invest in you guys a little more and kind of keep that line of communication going. So after the live stream, you can still post your questions and everything. Anyway, I'll stop talking about this. I'm really excited if you can't tell. I'm excited to meet you guys and kind of know a little bit more about you guys and have some more interaction there rather than just comments on YouTube videos and, you know, hopefully I get back to them in a way that makes sense. We can kind of have a discussion. So there you go. That's the long and short of that. Yes. So hopefully that's good. Please give me some feedback, like, because we want to make it good for you guys. So I will try and catch up a little bit here. Yeah, it was Saren. Sorry. Sirhan. Sorry. Yeah. Let's talk about that in Discord. I would love that. That'd be sweet. Yeah, we use Slack all the time. We love Slack. And like Slack and Discord are like almost set up exactly the same. Like they just look a little different. There's a few different features, but man, it's really rad. It's really rad. Pat, yeah, glad that you love Discord. Glad that you're familiar with that. Okay, so let's get into the questions. Sorry for that little delay. I hope that turns out to be awesome, though. Okay, if I miss your question, please just repost it, you guys, and I'll try and get to it. Okay. What do you like about Resolve over Adobe for color grading? I haven't used Resolve yet, and I'm wondering what benefits there are. Okay, so without going into a giant detailed thing, Resolve is built for color grading. Like it's like locked in. Like it's really tuned for color grading. And then they're slowly adding editing features to it. Okay, so it's like primarily a color grader. And Premiere is mostly an editor, and they're adding color features to it. You know, so like Premiere is amazing at editing, Resolve's amazing at color, and they're both kind of trying to like do the other thing pretty well. So really the big thing that I've seen is that you can get a lot more detailed. You can do a lot more just detailed stuff in Resolve, more advanced things. Something like this, like if I were going to grade this shot in Premiere, let's say, which I can bring up Premiere. If you guys want to, I can bring up Premiere and show you some stuff in Premiere. But basically in Premiere, I can do a basic grade in Lumetri. I can add a LUT in Lumetri. I can do kind of some basic stuff. But when you want to get to like secondaries and a little bit more like adjusting parts of the image, that's where I think Resolve it's no comparison. Okay, So like I can adjust how the overall image looks inside of Resolve, right? Boost my saturation a little bit, and you know, adjust my white balance and kind of get a good looking shot. I can mess with curves, give it a little bit more saturation. That's all stuff that you can do pretty darn easily inside of Premiere. And so if you're gonna stop there with Lumetri, it's totally cool, okay? But if you're wanting to do stuff like, you know, select her face and track it, like that's the stuff that Resolve is amazing at. You know, and then you can adjust this and like sharpen her face and then like blur everything else, you know, and you can do some really advanced stuff like very, very quickly inside of Resolve, and it all like tracks, and it's all very fast and optimized for that kind of thing. So that's really what I would say Resolve does better. And it's just a little bit easier to figure out like what shot you're on because of the way that the timeline's laid out and everything. Like you're obviously working on shot 33, whereas like in Premiere, it kind of depends on like what's on top of one another and like which thing you have selected, and like if you have the right panel up, and like 2 or 3 things have to be right for you to adjust that shot, where this is just like, all right, I'm gonna adjust this shot now, and like I'm going, you know. That's what I would say the advantage is. So I hope that helps, if that makes sense. So, and just for clarity, Premiere can do that. Premiere can do this, but you're pretty much stuck with this level of things. Like you could certainly track something in Premiere. The thing is, it takes about 4 times longer. Just my guess. It takes a lot longer to track it, and the tracker isn't as good. And you can only do it for you can only do certain things within the window, whereas Resolve, you can make several windows, and like they can interact with each other and stuff. And what I mean by window is this mask. This is called a window inside of Premiere, or inside of Resolve. Inside of Premiere, it's called a mask. So yeah, you can do similar stuff. It's just a lot. It's a lot like harder to get things done quickly in Premiere. It's like, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like you can draw something with like, you can draw a straight line on a piece of paper without a ruler, but it looks a lot nicer and it goes a lot faster with a ruler, you know? And so like doing those advanced grades in Resolve is just easier and faster. That's all. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. I know you did a video on this for the former DaVinci, but is there a new way to export video footage from Premiere and import it into DaVinci 14? As far as I know, none of that has really been updated, other than maybe some bugs worked out of the XML features, which I honestly haven't looked at very much, because I almost always do it with the EDL, just because it works every time, you know. And again, you can't have advanced transitions and stuff when you do that, and so you kind of have to strip those out of Premiere first and then kind of add them back in later, which can kind of be a process. But like, I find that a lot of the things that I'm grading don't have a bunch of transitions and stuff, so it just works out better for me. And even if you do use an XML, like those transitions don't necessarily come over right, and so you still have to either babysit it in Premiere or babysit it in Resolve, and like you have to do that work somewhere regardless of how you do that. So does that answer your question? Okay. Yeah, Resolve is fast because you can group shots as well. Yep, that's exactly a thing. And you can kind of do stuff like that in Premiere too. It's just a little bit more janky. Do I use a panel? If I'm doing a big project, like that has more than 2 or 3 different kinds of shots, I generally will use a panel. I'll actually show you guys. I was so prepared. Look at this. I have a tangent ripple, which you can see. So this is the tangent ripple, and it's like $350, I think, and it's a super awesome, really basic color surface that works with Resolve. I haven't tried any of the Blackmagic color surfaces. I've played with the big one just a little bit, but like the little surfaces seem like they would be sick. They would be awesome, and I would love to get one of those. I just haven't done that yet. But yeah, surface is great if you're going to do more than just a little bit of grading. Yeah. Duke Sweden says, I love this program, never touch Premiere Pro anymore. That's awesome. Man. Yeah, a lot of people I feel like want to kind of get off the cloud and want to get off the Adobe train and just use Resolve, which is awesome. Yeah. Pat said, wow, I never realized how useful Resolve was. I'm still relatively new to color grading, but this is really cool. Currently, I mostly use Resolve as a basic video editor. Yeah, and it's a really good video editor now, actually. It is. And so it's really cool that it has all this power for color grading. Sorry, I'm trying to not miss anything in chat, but I know I am. Let's see. Yeah, everyone took a vote and speed grade got voted off the island. Yeah, man, it's so funny because speed grade could have been so awesome, but it just never really got to the point where it was super stable, in my opinion. And now they're just putting all of that into Premiere, which that's why Premiere is going to rock at color pretty soon. It's going to be really, like, I'm expecting this year or next year, it's going to be sick. And Resolve's going to be even better at editing this year or next year too. You know, they're going to be the main two things. And I know, like, Final Cut just updated a bunch of color stuff too. Like, it's crazy. Okay. How much for the Blackmagic stuff roundabout? I think they have a surface, their cheapest one's $500, and then I think they have a little bigger one for $1,000. And like the $500 one looks freaking sick. Like, it looks awesome. And if I didn't have one of these, I would probably spring for, like, I already had this, so I would probably spring for it if I didn't. Yeah, and Resolve renders much faster too. That's right. For the most part. Yeah, sometimes you'll get, like on my system, which I have like a decent gaming rig with a lot of RAM. So there's that. But, oh, 3,000 for the mini panel. Okay, that's right. One's like 1,000, right? Or maybe it's the cheapest one that's 1,000. I don't know. I could look it up, but I didn't. So there you go. Hey, look. There's a question about the PC. Anyway, what I was saying was that my system, sometimes like at 1080, at like a 1080 project, I would get 50 or 60 frames a second render. Like, so it renders twice as fast as it plays back sometimes, depending on the project, depending on what you're doing. Like if you're doing a lot of sharpening, it can take longer, but it's usually faster than Premiere for the most part. Anyhow, yeah, 30,000 for the big surface. Yeah, that one is just out of most people's price ranges. Definitely out of mine. Pat asks, so when building a PC for Resolve, what would you suggest? So far, I want to make a gaming content creation build. With that being said, GPU I want is a 1060. I'm leaning towards Ryzen for CPU. Yeah, that would probably be totally great. If you can, basically the best graphics card you can afford, that's what I would do. Like if you can afford a 1070 or 1080, that's I think would be worth it, because that's just going to be better for longer, you know, and it's probably not that big of a price jump between a 1060 and a 1070. So like I use a 970 and I get pretty darn good performance. And that thing's like, I bought it refurbished like 3 years ago and it still works great. I don't know how, like, I don't know where the like breakdown is for RAM. I have 32 gigs of RAM, okay? But like 16 might be just as good. I don't know. Like I got the RAM on super crazy sale and just it wasn't that much more to get 32 gigs, so but I know you need like at least 8 for Resolve, and I would recommend 16 because it's just going to be better. You know, but it's a lot of it is on the GPU, and your CPU, like I didn't get that great of a CPU. Like it's just, it was like, again, it was like what was on sale a long time ago. I think it's I guess I could check, huh? I guess I could check. I don't really remember how to do that in Windows 10, so I'll do it over here. Oh gosh. Yeah, so I have let's see, make sure there isn't any things I don't want to show you. I think it's okay. So for me, I have 32 gigs of RAM, 64-bit Windows 10, i7 4770K GPU. So that's what I'm running, and it seems to work pretty well. I do a lot of 1080 stuff. I don't do tons and tons of 4K. I do a little bit, and it seems to work okay, but like not every day. Have I tried the Fusion Resolve workflow? Honestly, I keep wanting to get into Fusion, and I'll like open it and kind of play with it. And I feel like one day I'm going to jump into it and be really excited about it. I just haven't done it yet. So yeah. And I've heard Ryzen's are good CPUs. I haven't used them. I've only used Intel and not for the last few years because I haven't had to buy one for a few years. Yeah, the micro is $995. Yeah, like that's probably a really awesome panel. King Steven says, or Steven, I don't know how to say it, says, "Hey man, thanks for your videos. I just started learning color grading and found your channel. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you." With Resolve would have, wish Resolve would have a rendering machine like Adobe Media Encoder. Yeah. Well, it kind of does. Like if you go, the thing is you can't like render it while you're working on something else, but you can queue a bunch of projects inside of the Deliver tab. So like you can open multiple projects and put them in the queue, and render them that way. So you can kind of queue it, and it's like set up kind of weird, but you can totally do that. So you can at least kind of have a queue, you know. All right. In Premiere, I can put up Luma scopes only. Can we do that in Resolve? I think so. Let me think. I know like with waveform, you can set it to Luma only. I know you can do that with waveform. So if you want to do that, and I mean, you don't really, I think you can do a black and white parade to, yeah, you can turn the parade black and white. I mean, that's not really Luma only, but you know, it's not colored. So I don't know exactly what you're wanting out of that, if you're just wanting black and white scopes or if you're wanting to actually look at the Luma channel, but that's a short answer on that. Okay. What is the best approach for matching clips when you have an example of Cine 4 footage with a LUT and Mavic footage with D-Log without a similar LUT for that? Hope you understand. So you're talking about a... Are you talking about like a stylistic LUT or like a correction LUT? Because I can show you kind of both. We can get into that for sure. Okay. My exports seem kind of grayish. My color grade is my color grading that off, but I can't see it, or is my export settings wrong using YouTube presets and the final file doesn't match on the same monitor? Yeah, that happens sometimes with H.264 stuff. And honestly, I haven't had that happen for a while, so I don't really know. I don't really know exactly how to fix that right now, just because things have changed a little bit since I've had that problem. But what it used to be was a problem with the QuickTime player would kind of like corrupt the file, and so that was kind of a weird thing. A lot of the time, it's just like your player will like transform the way the colors look, and like when you put them on YouTube and stuff, like it won't be bad like you think it would be. It also depends on, like under the deliver tab, let's see if it's here. I always get confused which. Yeah, that's a different, never mind, that's a different thing I was thinking of. Sometimes, like, if you go to, where is it? Did they change? Did they change something? That's the thing, is they're always updating things. Yeah, okay, data levels, there we go. So sometimes this will mess up your stuff, data levels. And depending on what you are rendering, like if you're rendering like a DNX HD or a Cineform or like ProRes, like sometimes that matters and sometimes it doesn't. And it really seems like it's up in the air. And so what I always do if I'm going to render a codec that I haven't rendered before is I do one that's video, one that's full, and see if it makes a difference, see if it changes it, just to make sure that what's coming out is what I'm looking at. And I've had a lot of trouble with that in the past, and I guess, yeah, it does go for YouTube also. So you might play around with that and see if that helps. I'm sorry, that's not like the best answer ever, but that's a thing. So, understand, but you're stuck having coffee till it's done rendering. Yeah, that's true. That's the thing. I mean, one thing you could do is have a different computer and run Resolve like on that and like do it over a network, you know. But that's complicated, and I know what you're saying. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome. Yeah, QuickTime Player has a gamma shift problem. It's best to watch your graded footage back in Premiere Resolve. Yeah, totally. That's a thing. Oh man, it keeps like. Okay, Dan says, "Hi Casey, love Resolve. However, I've noticed that upon export, there's a very, very faint, almost grayish tint applied to the footage. Do you know what this could be?" Yeah, I think I kind of just explained everything that would be with that, which I know that was a while back you posted that. So if I have multiple shots, I still have not found how to grade them all. I mean, how to use a node on all of my shots. Are you talking about like grade them all at the same time, or like to copy a look over? What's a good way to match D-Log with S-Log via LUT or manual? If you have any experience with Sony S-Log 3, I just started using them for a new job I got, and my exposure is spot on, and it's noisy AF in post. Gotcha. So it sounds like people are wanting like a matching shots type of tutorial, which I can do that. Give me a minute. Yeah, I do have a tutorial on it, but I'll show you guys what I do usually. Because that tutorial honestly probably needs to be redone. It's a little bit awkward. So I do want to redo it at some point here, but here's the general idea. Okay, and I'm going to bypass all my grades here. Oh, which I'm smart. Never mind. Okay, so this is a like kind of concert type of edit of a thing that at a church, and so this shot I believe is on a Blackmagic pocket cinema camera. This one is from a production camera 4K, and this one is from a Panasonic GH3. And so there's 3 different types of like gammas there. Obviously the shots look really different. And so here's generally what I do. I'm going to make new versions of all of these so I don't work myself into a spot here. Okay. So yeah, these all look really different, and so what I'll usually do is pick the shot that I think looks closest to what I want, or maybe the shot that I think is going to be hardest to correct. Sometimes that'll be a shot that isn't shot in log. So I'm going to start with this shot because it already has, you know, blacks at 0 and like whites up at 1023. And I'm just going to make this shot look good. Okay. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just boost up my saturation a little bit, which I should turn my grades back on. And maybe I'll add a little contrast curve, like an S-curve type of thing. Maybe I'll warm it up just a little bit without clipping her skin. So maybe, let's say that, okay? Let's say we like that. What I'll usually do from here is grab a still. And so I'm starting with an image that it's like a goal, okay? And so these other images, I want to make them look like the goal image, okay? So I'm gonna bring up my saved image, which is here in the gallery, and I can just double click that, and that will play it here in Resolve as a wipe. And I can wipe back and forth and figure out, okay, what's the difference between these images? First of all, this one is really flat. It's also like the white balance is off a little bit, looks a little green. And so we're gonna try and fix those problems. I could start out by grading this myself. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But because I know how this is shot, like I know this is shot on a Blackmagic 4K, I can load a LUT to help me out a little bit. So I'm gonna make a new node, and I'm gonna load the LUT on that node. And if any of this doesn't make sense, please let me know, and I'll try and explain it a little better. Let's see. No, that's the wrong LUT. That would be why it looks kind of weird. There we go. Okay, so this is a LUT designed for Blackmagic 4K, and it's really strong right now, but I can adjust it a little bit under the LUT. So I'm making my adjustments in this first node, and I'm just trying to get it back to a reasonable place here. I'm also going to try and fix the white balance in this first node, and so I'm just going to pull my gain away from kind of that orangish green and kind of move this to a little bit better place. And it's really slight adjustments, and it takes a little bit. but we're getting there. Somewhere in there, maybe. Still a little warm. So cool it down a little bit more. Maybe brighten it up a little bit. And basically, I'm just matching these back and forth, trying to get these to look the same. Also going to bring my blacks down because those aren't matched. That'll make a big difference. This one might be too saturated, might be too warm. And you kind of just have to play with it until you're happy with it. Back and forth until they're like in the same ballpark. There we go. So that's looking a little bit better. So here's where we started. Here's where we are now in that match, okay? Again, you can take more time and make it perfect, but that's kind of the general idea. And then on this shot, it's the same thing. It's comparing it with that same original shot and trying to get everything looking the same. And what I'm looking at, because I know it's just like, oh yeah, just make them look the same. I know that that's not that great of a explanation, but what I'm looking at is I want the background to look similar. I want the blacks to be the same level. I want her skin to look similar. That's probably the most important thing. I want the color cast to look similar. And so again, I can load a LUT or I can do it myself. I'll just do it myself this time for goodness. I'm going to bring my lift down because I want those blacks to be black. And I'll play with the gain a little bit. And I'm moving them back and forth and looking at the scopes down here because I want these scopes to look really similar because it's the same content, basically the same shot. And so I want them to be a lot better. Like this one's too bright because I can tell that these things are way too far up. So I can bring those down to a more decent level and that's going to match a little better. You see how those look about the same level? It's kind of like that. Now I know this needs a little more saturation. Probably needs another node of saturation because it's black magic footage. And I can play with the gamma. I feel like this might be a little green still, so I'm going to take that. Take some green out of it. Just really. Now it's looking a little pink. Anyway, it takes some playing around with it. But eventually, it gets to the point where you can believe that they were shot at the same time. This probably also needs a little bit of a contrast curve. I'm going to reset my midtones. It's really easy to mess yourself up by messing with midtones. Very easy to do that. So like matching shots is the hardest part of color grading. Hands down, hardest part. And so it's really easy to mess it up. It's really easy to spend 1,000 hours on it. But that's pretty much the idea, is you want to make sure the brightest and darkest parts of the image look similar. And you should be able to go in between them. And like, after I do the side-by-side matching, I'll flip back and forth like this and see if I believe, like these two match pretty well. I feel like this first one is a little bit off still. And so I can adjust that a little bit. And it takes some playing around with it. It takes a while. Bring my still back up. Oh. Feel like there's too much. See, and after a while, like I'm gonna make a new. This is the reality of color grading, you guys, is that a lot of the time you'll just work yourself into a spot where you don't know where you are anymore. And I find myself doing that. You can call me a noob all you want. but it happens, man. It happens. I'm trying to match her skin tones mostly right now. And sometimes you'll have to do crazy stuff too, like sometimes just the way the camera, captures colors just doesn't, like, not everything matches, you know, and so you'll have to do something like select the wall like behind her and like pull a secondary on the wall to make sure things like match. And it can get really tedious. It depends, like, especially if they're different kinds of cameras, you know. So that's kind of a thing. So, anyway, it takes a long time. Much respect for doing it live. Appreciate that. See, now we're getting a little bit better. A little bit better. Match here. Anyway, it takes a while. It takes a while to match it. And so, like, but it's honestly, it's a lot of flipping back and forth and a lot of obsessing over things. And after a while, it starts to look better. So I don't know. That's getting there. So I don't want to take like 1,000 hours to do this, but. So I hope that helps a little bit for matching. Can you zoom it into the curves tab? Oh, can you like resize it? You know, in I think it was Resolve 9, maybe it was 9 or 10. It's probably 10. Doesn't matter. You could make a really big curves window. It was kind of funny. And then they didn't do that. And I don't know why they don't do that anymore. Maybe because they figure it's big enough. I don't know. Okay, so let's see if I can catch up here. Any advantages getting a 1440p monitor over 1080p in terms of video editing? I like my I had a 1440p. I liked it, but I pretty much switched away from that because I do so many tutorials that it made more sense to have a 1080p monitor just for uploading to YouTube. But there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's actually nice to have a little bit more screen space. Yeah. Why does my car stall on cold mornings? Thanks, Jack East River. You're the best. Immediately banned. Yeah. Yeah, 3D Print Creator, yeah. My tutorial on groups is pretty good for that too. Which, again, like, I'm not opposed to going over the same stuff, you guys. I can totally do that. That's why we're here, so we can ask questions and stuff. I've gotten the impression from Blackmagic Design website that Resolve is enterprise software with additional Linux version enabling collaboration in render farms. What do you know about that? I don't know much about that other than that is a thing, and that you can like build a PC that just runs Resolve and like run Linux on it, which supposedly helps with like resource management and runs faster and stuff. That could be cool. I don't know. It's not, I mean, it's not really practical for me, so. Not really familiar with the term node, forgive my ignorance. Yeah, totally. I can go over that. So I'm gonna switch to a different project. Okay, so here's the idea. Anything that you do down here in Resolve, these are like your color correction like palettes, right? So you have all your tools here, your keys, like your window, your tracker, all this stuff, all your curves and your color adjustments and your scopes and all this stuff. All this stuff happens inside of a node, okay, which is like it's like a pretend group of adjustments, let's say. Okay, so let's say I make this warm and give it a little bit of a contrast curve like that. So at least make it look decent, not horrible. Okay, so if I do that, all of that stuff lives in my first node. Okay, and I can do a bunch of stuff. You can do tons and tons of stuff and it still lives in the first node. That's like a holder, like a box for all of these things. Then you can make another node, and that's a different box of corrections. So if I were to make a box that desaturates everything, turns it black and white, right? I can call this black and white. Let's call this warm, right? So I have a warm node and a black and white node, all right? And really, like, you can get really like complicated and confused about it, but like if you think about it like that, as it's a group of corrections, and they go in a specific order, then it's not quite as scary. It's almost like putting a adjustment layer over something, like in Photoshop, if you're familiar with that. You do something to the image and then you do something else. Okay, so this, we're making it warm and then we're desaturating it. All right, now if I were to switch the order around, like I'm going to delete my lines here, and I was going to make it black and white and then warm, and I connect all the nodes together, boop, it has a much different look because it's turning it black and white and then it's warming it up. Okay, so the order of those things really matters. And again, this is just kind of a visual way to to think about like your corrections. You can also do stuff like, what's cool about nodes is you can also do stuff like do one correction per node, and then you can have kind of a chart of everything that you've done on the image. So let's say for this shot, I want to increase the contrast, right? So I'll bring the lift down a little bit. I'll bring the gain up, something like that. So we'll call this contrast. That's the first thing we did. Then I'll make a new node, and I'm just hitting Alt-S to make a new node. Then I want to add some saturation. Okay, so we'll saturate it up a little bit. We'll call this saturation. Then I want to make a curve on it. All right, so in my third node, I'll do a little curve. Okay. And then let's say after that, I want to brighten up this part with the lady sitting down on the blanket. Okay. I can do that there. And we'll call this lady. And then we can like darken the edges. Right, we'll do like a little vignette thing. Okay. Something like that, and we can call that vignette. So now we have pretty much a flow chart of what we're doing in our image. What's cool is like, oh man, I like that, but I like it less saturated. I'll just take the saturation down. Like, I can just turn off my saturation adjustment or my contrast adjustment. Or maybe I don't want to highlight the lady in the middle. Maybe I don't want a vignette on it. It's a really easy way to like break up your correction so that you can change it a little bit easier later. It's also nice, like, let's say we have this shot, which is very similar to this shot. I can duplicate it. I can copy all of my nodes and all of my grades into this new shot by selecting this shot, middle clicking on this shot, right? So now I have all those same nodes, but I'm like, oh man, this one's a little bit dark. So I can go back to my contrast node and boost up my lift a little bit, and now these will match a little better. And then I don't have to mess with all the other stuff on top of it. I just adjust the first part of it so that everything looks good on top of it. Does that make sense? I'm on the internet. I should be perfect. I know. Oh, that's it. How do you do the duplicative nodes? Yeah, so just for clarity, okay, select whatever shot you want to copy them to. All right, so I want to copy to this pencil shot. This is the shot that I like, and I want to copy all these nodes over. I can select shot number 54, middle button mouse click. That's this right here, okay? This one in the middle here, okay? I can mouse over this shot that's already been graded, middle button mouse click, and it will copy everything over. That's the easiest way to do it. No parallel nodes. You can totally do parallel nodes. I was trying to keep that simple. There are different kinds of nodes. These are all serial nodes, which means that there's a correction, and then right after that there's another correction. And so a parallel node, it's kind of confusing, okay? But a parallel node is kind of like they're in separate parts, but they're doing it at the same time, okay? So rather than like, let's say, honestly, it's super confusing. So it's really, and I've been like trying to do a tutorial on this, but I've been trying to figure out a really good way to explain it. But I'll give it a shot. Basically, instead of making something, let's see if this works. Let's see if this makes sense. Okay. I'll boost up my contrast, and then let's say I have a node where I desaturate everything, and then I have a node where I make everything really blue. Okay. I'm desaturating it and then making it blue. Okay, and let's see if this actually works like this. I don't even know. It might be super horrible, and then we'll just move on without acknowledging it. Does that sound good? If we took this and made it into a parallel node instead, I'll hit Alt-P, and I'll just copy this node and paste it here. Let's see if this does anything. Nope, looks exactly the same. All right, moving on. Parallel nodes basically do things at the same time, and in some situations that can be better. I have a hard time finding a situation where it actually matters, which is like why I haven't done a tutorial on it, honestly. So anyway, I tend to use a lot of serial nodes because that makes sense to me. It's like I do this and then do this, but using parallel nodes, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do all these like little things. Like often I'll use a parallel node for stuff like, okay, if I'm going to select this lady and make her brighter, and I'll make a parallel node to like select these trees, right, and then like change those to a little bit warmer. Like I'll do that, and then like, you know, maybe I'll boost up the colors in the blanket. Right, and so I'll have like several things that I'm doing that I'm all doing at the same time. And it's almost more of an organizational thing. Like, okay, I'm going to do like big corrections and then a bunch of small corrections here, and then I'll finish it off with like the vignette, you know. That happens a lot. That's why I use them. So, why don't you have super chat? I would have paid right now. Dude, you can pay whenever, man. Like, just buy stuff from Ground Control, then at least you'll get stuff in in return. You guys are sweet. So sweet. Okay, so appreciate that. Moritz, thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Okay, let's see if I'm caught up here. I don't know. Yeah. How do you work with white balance? Seems like you could get some good results here with it. Yeah, I actually have at least one shot in one of my things here. Maybe it's in this project. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yes, it is. Okay. So check this out. This is a little clip we shot purposely with the wrong white balance so that I could show things for fixing white balance, I want to show you guys something that I haven't played around with a lot, but I'm really impressed with, okay? And that's the crosshair things for the gain and the lift. This is really cool for fixing white balance, okay? So check this out. Zoom this out a little bit, where we have the white car here. We have some things that are darker, and let's say I want to fix this white balance. I'll do it in another node just to be cool. I can pick what I want to be white. Like I'll pick the car, okay, and that will make adjustments and make whatever I picked be white. It will make adjustments to make that happen, right? Which you can see in the gain is just warming things up a lot. It also happens to blow everything out and be crazy because it wasn't that bright of a white. The cool thing is I can roll down on my gain and bring that stuff back to something that makes sense. So let's stop like right there. Same with the lift, is I can grab something that I want to be like pretty much as black as it can be. So let's do that right there, and that will balance my blacks. And so now I can boost those up, and now I have a pretty well balanced image. Like, pretty good. And then I can add my saturation. Needs a little bit of gamma boost. And as far as like the white balance and the tint and everything goes, it's pretty good. There's some problems with the sky that we can deal with. So I'm going to make a new node, and I'm going to go over to luminance versus saturation curves, and I'm going to make a dot in the middle. What this does is it maps things in the image based on their luminance. So at the brighter things versus the darker things. So what we can do is desaturate parts of the image that are bright or dark. So what I'm going to do is just, man, thank you, buntseaton.net. Thank you for subscribing. You're the best. I can push down my saturation up at the top of the image, and that's going to make everything that's really bright desaturated. So the brighter it gets, the more desaturated it gets. And so that's a really easy way to fix like problems with sky when you're fixing white balance. I can also do this for the bottom part, and it's a little bit less noticeable. But that's a great way to get a really good result really quickly with fixing white balance and Resolve. Super easy. If you don't have, like if you're not working in Resolve, if you're working in Premiere or something, you can do the same thing that this is doing just by adjusting the gain yourself. Because really all this is doing is pushing the gain really warm and pushing the lift a little bit kind of towards yellowish green. And that's pretty much fixing the image. So you can do it yourself without those. That's just a lot quicker way to do it. That's kind of something I usually don't trust, like the automatic like white balance stuff and like the automatic color grading stuff, but like those, because you can edit them and you can play with them afterwards, actually are really useful. So I hope that's cool. Who's that handsome dude on the screen? So handsome. A badly exposed clip. Yeah, I do. Pretty much, let's look here. Yeah, in this wedding footage, I have a couple things that are pretty underexposed. Like this shot is really, really, really underexposed. Okay, this was kind of a run and gun situation. And sometimes that's the reality of shooting, especially kind of documentary footage and stuff. So here's how I approach it. And honestly, you kind of have to accept that it's not going to look very good because you just can't do miracles here. All right. What you start out with is you try and make it look decent, and then you fix whatever problems come up. Okay. So what I'll do is I'm going to boost the gain because this stuff is just freaking gone. It's bright. And so I'm going to boost the gain to where that's touching the top of the scopes because I'm not going to get any detail back on that anyway. And then boost my gamma a lot. And then I can take my lift down a lot. But the problem is, it starts to go insane. And so you want to be real careful with that. And so what I'm doing is just playing with the lift and the gamma very, very slowly, because it will pretty quickly break apart. After I kind of got it at a decent level like that, I'll usually make a new node just to keep organized, and I'll boost the midtones and the curves like this, because you have a little bit more control over how things go. You could just probably start with the curves. I always try and start with the lift and gain and gamma, but so this is shot also on Blackmagic, and that has quite a bit of salvageable details and stuff. If the more compressed your footage is, the more it's going to be awful. This is decently clean footage, and for it to be underexposed this much, it's just going to look bad. So where it really starts to look bad is once you start saturating it, because like right now it looks okay, but once you start saturating a little bit, you start to see a lot of artifacts, things from the lens flare here. There's kind of some green pollution and stuff, so that's where you have to start dealing with that. Again, you don't have to use all of these nodes. This is just kind of how I stay organized a little bit. So this is saturation. This is curve. This is lift, gamma, gain. So this, I'm going to try and fix some of these problems as much as I can. One big thing is the lift is going to be really green. And so I'm going to try and push the lift away from green and balance that a little bit and see if I can help things out a little bit. And then the gain also is going to have to be a little bit less purple. Gamma's a little less purple. And you can kind of start to get to a decently usable image, but again, it's falling apart. I mean, it's, you know, it's very noisy. But, you know, we started with this, so you can't expect a whole lot. That's a thing. And then pretty much, at some point, you're going to want to denoise it if you can. You can use the denoiser in Resolve. You can use Magic Bullet denoiser. You can use Neat Video. Neat Video is really good. I really like the noise reduction in Resolve, but you have to have the full version of Resolve to do that. I'll show you. And I usually do this before all of my grades. It doesn't make a huge difference, but that's kind of like the theory that things come out a little better if you denoise before your grades. But I do it with all my grades on so that I can see what's actually happening. Under spatial noise reduction, I'm going to use better and push up my luma until it starts to look a little better. Boost up my radius maybe. It's not doing much, is it? It depends on the shot. Sometimes you can't use better. Sometimes you have to use faster. And you can kind of just push that up a little bit. Again, it's so bad that it's really hard to make it look good again. So that takes a lot of playing around with it, but you can usually make it look a little better with some noise reduction. And then at the end, if you do noise reduction, it's usually good to do a little bit of sharpening if you can. And so I'll usually just like roll a tick down on the sharpen. And that'll be decent. That'll be decent. Again, like this big purple circle, that's because of the speed booster that this footage was shot with. A lot of the time you can make like a circle here and just kind of take down some of that purple. And sometimes that will work. Again, it's not like perfect. You can make it a little better. But like I said, I mean, the image is pretty much gone anyway. Another thing I find that works really nicely is if you warm up like the center of the image a little bit. That kind of makes it look a little bit more poppy than it can actually be. And so sometimes that helps. So yeah, something like that. And I know I'm doing lots of nodes on this, but like it takes a lot of work to fix a shot like this, you know, and make it look decent again. And so you can do a bunch of stuff. You could do like pull skin qualifiers and everything. Like for this actual project, I spent a lot of time on this shot trying to make it look good again. But underexposed footage is rough, dude. It's rough. All right. Do you think it's a good thing to expose to the right when you film in RAW, like with Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera? How then do you fix the highlights in such footage? Also, thanks a lot for your work. I've shot a little bit of RAW stuff. I've graded a little bit of RAW stuff. Generally, it looks a lot better if you expose to the right. I think that it's only to a point though, because if you expose way far to the right, you start to get pollution, like from UV pollution and stuff, and things start to have like purple circles around them and stuff. And that depends on the camera, depends on the lens you use and all this stuff. But to a point, it certainly looks better. So like if you're unsure, I would shoot to the right a little bit at least. What do you do to sharpen your image to make it crisp? I'm not going to show you on this one. Let's see. Let's find a decent looking shot to begin with. So for me, the best way, in my opinion, to like sharpen a shot to make it look really nice is you either sharpen it just a little bit all over, or if you want to sharpen a specific part of it, you select a part of it with a window. So, okay, let's go with this shot, sure. Right? This, again, is underexposed, but it's not horrible. So we can actually make this look good. I'm going to load a LUT because it's easier. So this is BMD film. And boost this up a little bit. There we go. Something like that, right? So we're getting a little bit nicer of a looking image. And then what I'll do usually is at the very end, like sharpen, I almost always do at the very end, because it kind of takes everything and it kind of wraps it up together. I don't know if that makes sense, but and you always want to look at it actual size. And then usually, like if I'm going really fast, I'll just literally go to the sharpen thing and just roll down a couple on the radius, and that usually ends up looking pretty good. And it just kind of takes the softness away from it a little bit, which makes it look a little bit more crisp. It's really easy to go crazy on this and make it look really bad. That, in my opinion, is like the suckiest looking footage. I would rather have it be soft than to be over sharpened. It just looks really bad to me. But I'll usually do like 0.47, somewhere in there. And then if I really want to focus on something and make it look really nice, I'll do like a window. And like if I want to sharpen her face a little bit, again, I'll just do it a little bit more, but on a specific feature. So I hope that makes sense. And really, like, the more noisy your footage is, the worse it's going to look when it's sharpened. Like, this is still a little bit noisy, and so that could do for a denoise before that sharpen too. Okay. Do you know what the MF Plat DLL error is? It happens to me in Resolve paid version, and then it disappears magically again. I have no idea what that is. I'm sorry. Hey, Timo. How's it going? Okay. Would you use a matte box for the blown out light in the background? Possibly. Yeah, if you had If you had time. That was kind of something I'm sure that the person who shot that wedding was like, oh gosh, this person's giving a toast and didn't quite have time to set things right. Thoughts on the following: how do you calibrate your monitor and know whether the results you're getting are correct? That is the magical question, isn't it? For me, I have a just like, yeah, it's one of these. It's a X1 display. This thing. Oh, you can't quite see it. There it goes. So I have this thing. Boop. So this is something that you actually hang on your monitor and it calibrates it. You pretty much, I would not do like paid color work of any kind without some kind of calibrator like that. You just can't, you can't set it by eye. You can't do it. It's awful. And then you kind of have to, you calibrate your monitor. Like how I do it is I calibrate my monitor, and I will then go and test it out on a few things. And it's never going to look as good as it looks on your monitor, no matter how good you calibrate it, because nothing else is calibrated. And so it's kind of, oh my goodness. Danjo, you are the literal best. You were the literal best. Thank you. So yeah, you kind of have to, as sad as it is, you kind of have to accept failure. And just say like, you know, as good as this looks on my monitor, it's not going to look as good on other stuff. And so kind of the idea is that like if it can look decent on most things, you're doing pretty good, you know? That's my thought on it. And I totally might be doing it wrong. I don't know. But I have not been able to like be super confident and like exactly like just super confident in my monitor. Like I'm pretty darn confident in it now because I like this monitor and I've like calibrated it a few times and I understand like how it's probably going to look on other stuff. But that takes a lot of time, a lot of just practice and guessing like at what it will look like on like your mom's TV and what it will look like, you know, if it's projected or all this stuff. Again, I don't have a super like expensive setup. It's kind of like it's probably like one notch above like a home setup. You know, it's a home setup that's optimized for color grading. So that's kind of where I'm at, and that's like I know where a lot of you guys are at too, which is why I'm not that worried about like making a color grading theater and stuff, because there's other people on YouTube and stuff that have stuff like that and that are really more towards the professional like cinema type of color grading, which is great, you know. But I'm not going to pretend that I'm like at that level. So how can you fade into a 2351 letterbox in Resolve and then fade back out again? Like you fade to a shot that has that box and then doesn't? Like, okay, here's a quick way to do that. Here. I'll show you the simplest way to do that. If you just Google CinemaScope crop lines, you can get this PNG, and it's just literally a PNG that's 1920 by 1080 with the right crop lines on it, and it's a PNG. And you can like add a crossfade, and so you can fade to that if you want to. That's an easy way to do it in Resolve. So I don't know, does that make sense? Does that answer your question? But yeah, the easiest thing would be just to use an image layer. You can also, in Resolve, you can do something called output blanking, which is really nice. And it basically just puts those bars over your footage without necessarily cropping it, you know? Like it doesn't cut off any information, it just basically puts black bars over it. Am I the only one here who can't go to Premiere after using Resolve? It's funny because as complicated and crazy as Resolve is, a lot of it's really simple. Like just the way that it's laid out is really simple. Like this is your timeline. This is all your titles and your toolbox and your effects and stuff. Like this is where your media lives. This is what it looks like, you know. And like Premiere, there's a lot of like windows and stuff that you can move around. And so I could see that. I could totally see that. Thanks for the info, Casey. Cool to see a fellow colorist sharing knowledge. Keep up the good work. I'm out. Awesome. Glad to be of help. What GPU am I using? It's a GTX 970. Can you add more transition effects to Resolve? Like more than it comes with? There are quite a few transition effects that Resolve comes with. And actually, I'm not 100% sure which of these are in the paid version versus the free version. I have the paid version, so I'm not sure. But I know like you can do OpenFX stuff, and so if there's OpenFX transitions, that might be a thing. I need a private lesson from you. Well, this is about, I mean, this is pretty interactive, I feel like, so hopefully this helps. Feel free to ask questions. What are your thoughts on Datacolor Spider 5 calibrator? I've never used it. I've heard it's pretty good. I've heard it's really similar to the one I have, and I know that it works with a lot of the calibration software and stuff. So I've heard it's decent. I don't know. Yeah, you guys, let's do another giveaway. Does that sound good? Let's do another giveaway. Oh my. So you guys, I'm going to post the giveaway link in the chat. If you go to that link, is it actually going to post? Boop. Nope. It decides not. Worry not. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Here it is. Okay. That link in the chat is for a LUT pack giveaway. So you can win a LUT pack from Ground Control Color as our gift to you for being awesome. Please just go there, go to the link, and... Well, what do you mean it's not found? Hold up. He's better? Oh wow, it is not found. That's dumb. Maybe it's gone crazy. Hold on, guys. Just a minute. This worked great last time. Let's try this. Okay. Let's try this. Does that work? Does that work at least? No, it doesn't. That's amazing. It worked great. Worked great a while back. Okay. You had to refresh web page. Maybe that's a thing. It's not working for me either, so I believe you guys. Yep, no more giveaways. We're done. I broke it. I broke it. I broke the internet. I did. I did that. Dan, can you look up a better thing for the giveaway? So we can actually do that. Sorry, guys. I don't know why that's crazy. It worked last time, and it worked last time we did live stream. It worked great. So who knows? Anyway, oh, it works? Who knows? Who knows? Okay, we gotta have one place to send you guys, though. Still don't. It doesn't seem like it's working right now, guys, so we're going to find an alternate way to do that, and we will do a giveaway in just a few minutes. I'll answer some more questions and stuff. I have a Sony A6000, doesn't support log profile, but I shoot in neutral, -3, but every LUT I've used looks terrible. Okay, here's what you do. Kentography, or kentography, whatever your name is. Here's what you do. We have a Discord server, all right, that we just started today. Okay, we're just getting it off the ground. It's just rolling out here. Okay, okay, and you can. Oh gosh. Everything I have is broken. You can join the Discord server with this link. And what Discord is it's, if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much like a chat room kind of thing. It's kind of like a mix between a chat room and a forum that we're starting so that we can all kind of meet each other and talk and ask questions and stuff like that. If you want to submit a LUT request under our LUT requests thing right here, you can post your stuff, and like I can actually get back to you and not have to like do it right now and actually do a good job. That would be awesome. So post those there in the Discord. We're kind of trying to make that the hub and the community for our you know, for color grading stuff and all the things ground control. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But one thing I will say, Kent, is that whatever you have, like whatever you shot on, you can grade it yourself, and it will be okay. It's just a little bit easier to use a LUT. Another thing that's important to realize too is that even if a LUT is designed for your camera, like let's say this shot is shot on BMD film, and I put the LUT on it that's designed for BMD film, doesn't look amazing, right? But the thing is, it's dependent on the exposure and the white balance and everything of your shot. And so like with a little bit of tweaking, like just a tiny bit of work, like it can look pretty good, you know, under that LUT. So I hope that makes sense too. Okay. What hardware are you using the color wheel? Do you recommend a 3-button mouse? Yes, 100% recommend a 3-button mouse. You'll have a hard time in Resolve without that. Definitely do that. This is a Tangent Ripple. It's like $350. Just really basic color surface. It gives you the trackballs and the lift, gamma, gain, brightness controls, as well as like reset buttons. B, this is funny. Okay, so on here, B will enable and disable your grade, usually. Apparently not right now. It's really not working right now? That's fun. Usually, it will enable and disable your grade. A does nothing. A does nothing, ever, which is kind of funny. Is this working? Huh. Maybe it's working. That's fun. The joys of live streaming. Anyway. Okay. 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 Let's try this. I'm gonna try one more thing to get the giveaway going, guys. It's all good. You request the LUT giveaway. Appreciate that, King Steven. You guys, go and join the Discord. If you click that link in the chat, you can go and join our Discord and like hang out with each other, share your work, and hopefully build like a little bit of a color grading friendly community there. That's just a good way for us to be able to communicate with you and make our stuff better. You just drag and drop here. That's awesome. So let me see if I can do this. I think I can. Oh, really? Okay, hold on. Let's see. Why would they do that? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Okay. Great. Here. I don't know why they would do that way. Okay, but here's where you go. Pretty sure this freaking works now. No, it doesn't. Why? Why doesn't it work? Good talk. All right, let me try one more thing, guys. Some of you worked. Okay. Let me just make sure this is a thing. Okay, let's see if this works here. Here's what you do. If you type the word giveaway into chat, I think this will work. I'm pretty sure this will work, okay? So don't worry about the other giveaway. I'm sorry we're having trouble, guys. Type giveaway into chat. Do this. You will be entered to win. There we go. Yep, it's working. Okay, cool. So if you type giveaway into chat, that will enter you to win. Yes, you guys got it, and I know that it's working. It's a thing. This is much better anyway, all right? That will enter you to win the LUT giveaway, and I'm going to pick a random user. There's a magical robot thing that will help me do that here in just a couple minutes. Yes, good job, you guys. Good job. And the winner will get a LUT pack of their choice from Ground Control, and whoever wins, I will tell you how to do that. Okay, so I know the link for the other giveaway thing is crazy, and sometimes it worked for people, sometimes it doesn't. We're not going to do that. So if you clicked on that link and you entered that way, you are not entered. Okay, you are not entered. You have to type giveaway in chat. Okay, giveaway, all one word, all lowercase. Type it in. That will enter you to win. Okay, that's the only way. That's the only way. If you want a giveaway, you got to go through that. Okay. I do a couple more seconds. This is your last chance. If you want to be entered, type giveaway into chat. And it only enters you once, so don't like spam it because there's no point in that. Okay? All right, here we go. We're going to roll a winner. Winner is Alex Alexis. You the best. You the best. That you are the winner, Alex. So that is rad. Alex, you win a LUT pack of your choice from Ground Control. Email info@groundcontrolcolor.com, and we'll figure out what LUT pack you want and get it sent out to you. We're gonna do a couple more giveaways throughout the stream. I'm gonna be streaming probably about another half hour or so, guys. And that is the plan. That's the plan. So stick around. If you didn't win, you still have a chance to win in a little bit. 3D Print Creator, see you later. Thanks for hanging out. You guys make sure to, again, really want you to come and join the Discord because that's where the party will be at. All right? Click the link. I think Dan could post the link. That would be awesome for the Discord. Then that's going to be a cool place. And you know what? If I didn't tell you earlier, we're going to have an exclusive discount code. So if you're looking at buying ground control LUTs, we have an exclusive 40% off discount code that we're going to be posting only in Discord tomorrow. Okay? So if you're part of the Discord, you get super awesome big sale savings things. If you're not, you don't. So that's where the party's at. That's where it's at. Yeah. Awesome. So there's the link. Click that. Discord is an app that you can use on your phone. You can use it's kind of like Facebook chat sort of. You can use it on your PC, your Mac. You can use it in a web browser if you don't want to download anything. It's a big chat room place that we can all hang out and talk about color grading goodness. You can post questions for me. You can post tutorial requests. It's a way for us to talk with you guys. So there you go. That's the thing. An exclusive discount coupon tomorrow in Discord. All right. So we have probably about half an hour more, 20 more minutes, somewhere in there. You guys post your questions, things you want me to go over about Resolve or color grading. I will answer whatever I can. So go ahead. Kapil Patel asked where I can buy a LUT. Well, best LUTs around, groundcontrolcolor.com. But I might be a little bit biased. Might be a little bit. What sort of machine do you need to run Resolve's noise reduction on full HD files smoothly? Preferably, what sort of Mac do you need? Man, again, just to do Resolve at all, like you need to have a really good graphics card. Like you need to have a good gaming graphics card probably. Is like the cheapest way to get into that. Again, I run a 970 and on 1080p footage, it plays back okay. It plays back okay. It's usually not real time with noise reduction, but it's a lot faster than what's that thing called? The noise reduction, Neat Video. Neat Video is amazing, but it takes a long time to render. Anyway. Did you learn your knowledge of editing from a school? Yeah, I went to a local community college actually, and they have a really good program actually that taught the basics of kind of media production in general, a little bit about editing, a little bit about audio production, like digital illustration, video production, kind of like gave a really good overall understanding of how it all works, which I'm really thankful for. And I thought that was really a good place to start. A lot of it I learned by doing things. I had an internship at a local production company that was doing some pretty cool stuff, and like a lot of the stuff that I use every day I learned there. And then also just trying a bunch of stuff and failing a lot. That's the easiest way to learn, is just put yourself out there and try and fail. Anything on dehaze? Yeah, sorry, I missed that. Okay, so I'm trying to think if I have a shot that's hazy. I don't think I do. I'm gonna just load a shot and kind of try and fake it because it's the same thing. Okay. So let's find a shot that possibly could be hazy. try this maybe. Okay, so this isn't very realistic. Okay, but the workflow is the same. Okay, so let's say this was a really hazy day, had kind of something like this going on maybe. And this is really more common, like if you have a wide shot, like over a city, or like something like from a drone, something like that, okay? But again, it's the same thing. Really, how you dehaze something is with an S-curve, like pretty much. If you can bring your lift down a little bit, bring your gain up, and kind of increase the contrast, and then give it an S-curve, that will pretty much take all the haze out. And you can do it to a certain point, like on real, actual hazy footage. It doesn't work quite as amazing as this, but that's the general idea. Is haze reduces contrast, and so if you can up that contrast a little bit, it can dehaze it. And the S-curve is really good for that because you have a little bit more control of exactly how that contrast, swoops down. Does that make sense? Can you play 4K 10-bit footage at 25 frames a second with my scopes on? Yes, I've done that. Of course, I guess not 25. It's probably 23.976 because that's what most things around here are. Got buried on the stack, but do you use a lot of aftermarket OpenFX and any favorites, or just the stock ones that come with Resolve Studio? The ones that come with Resolve Studio are freaking awesome. Like, there are some really cool ones. I don't do like tons of effects work and stuff, and so I usually don't need something massive like that. Film Convert's really cool. I actually don't remember if... Yeah, they have an OpenFX. That's cool. Definitely would recommend Film Convert if you're into that. And I've used Neat Video. Neat Video is really great, but again, renders pretty darn slow, at least on machines I've used it on. Those are the main ones I've used. There's also a false color plugin, which is really cool, that I don't have loaded on here, but it's by... yeah, it's by Time and Pixels. Time and Pixels, really cool guy that runs that. False color is a sweet plugin that works really well in Resolve. That'd be good. So, but I don't really use many, honestly. Resolve uses GPU, Premiere doesn't, which is why I switched. Premiere actually uses GPU quite a bit. It's been a lot better recently than it has been. There's noise reduction built in. Yeah, to the paid version of Resolve, there is, yes. Henrik, thank you for subscribing. You do best, you do best, you do best, you do best. Let's see. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for being here, and thank you for asking questions and hanging out. Really appreciate it. Do you need an SSD to edit 4K footage saved on an SSD, or is it enough to save it on a hard drive? It depends on the frame rate. Probably. Like if you have a good hard drive, like a 7200 RPM hard drive, it's probably fine. If it's an internal drive, like a SATA drive, it's probably fine. Any tips on the mist tool? I haven't really used it that much, honestly. I know that it's nice for like softening skin, but again, haven't done that a whole lot. It's something it's kind of like on my list of things to play with and get good at. Odd question, anybody uses a graphical tablet with Resolve in some matter or another? I've heard of a lot of people using that, using like a Wacom tablet. A lot of people swear by it. Like I've heard a lot of colorists really like that. I don't understand how that's... I don't personally like that. It seems like it'd be slower because like you're moving your mouse across the screen so much. It seems like it would be slower. I don't know. Okay. Yes, there are effects in Resolve. There are quite a few that it ships with, even the free version, but some of the more advanced ones, some of the cooler ones, are in the paid version. Are LUTs customizable, or can I just control the intensity of the effects? The actual, like, what the LUT does is not customizable in a general sense. You can pretty much adjust the intensity of it, but other than that, it's like if you put a LUT on. Let me show you. Like if I put a LUT on here, this is shot in S-Log2. So here's my S-Log2 LUT. It's maybe a little bit too saturated, so I can take the saturation down in my first node under the LUT. And so you can kind of adjust stuff that way, which is what I do all the time. But like you can't really like go in the LUT and like adjust what it's doing, especially in Resolve. I think there are some like utilities and stuff that will kind of let you do that, but it's a little bit awkward. So is there a possibility to use a second monitor just as a control monitor? Yeah, Resolve has like a 2-monitor layout thing, which I've played with a little bit. I don't particularly like it. It seems kind of weird, but I haven't played with it for a while actually, so I don't know. If you want to have just like a full screen preview of your footage while you're using your color grading, while you're actually using the controls, you need to have an external card. So something like the Blackmagic Ultra Studio Mini monitor, which is what we use, which they have versions that just like plug into the what's it called? The expansion ports in the what's it called? I don't know stuff. the ports in your motherboard that everything plugs into, those ones. PCIe, thank you. They'll plug into PCI ports for your PC, and then there's also a Thunderbolt one, and they're basically the same thing. So you need something like that. You can also use like the bigger, crazier Ultra Studio stuff that Blackmagic makes. Maybe it's Intense. I always get confused whether it's the Ultra Studio. I think it's the Ultra Studio. Yeah. So there's a few things that you can use, but yeah, it's a deck link monitor. Yes. That's the way. We have a couple of those that we use, and actually the mini recorder version is actually what this monitor is, or this camera is coming into. It's a HDMI camera. So Ultra Studio Mini monitor. Yes. There you go. There you go. Okay, should you transcode GoPro footage before editing in Resolve? H.264 isn't that easy on your system, right? If yes, what format should one use? Yeah, if you're having trouble playing it back, I'd recommend, if you're on a Mac, transcode it to ProRes 422. Also, you could use, I like Cineform, which I think you can do through the Cineform app. I usually do it through Premiere, but I think you can just transcode it through the GoPro app, and that will play back really nice. Like DaVinci Resolve really likes Cineform, and it just goes really smoothly. So I would definitely do that. That's a super nice codec. I've been nothing but happy with Cineform. Lift, gamma, gain. Can you briefly explain what these are and how they affect the image? Yeah, no problem. So it's really simple. It just kind of seems scary. So gain is the brightest parts of the image, lift is the darkest parts of the image, and gamma is in between. Okay? So think about it like on this curve, right? This is kind of the same thing. This is gain. This is lift. All right? And then gamma is in between. Okay? So if I boost up gain, it's just going to boost up the image like that. All right? So it's kind of the same thing. It's just taking the top part of the image and kind of stretching it out. And same thing with the lift, taking the darkest part of the image and stretching it out. And it's almost like this is a really good visual way to think about it. Like you're taking the blacks down, you're taking the whites up, like that, and everything in between them is just kind of, it's like you have a string and it just kind of goes in between those 2 points. And then gamma changes the middle of it. So if I want to make this look just like this, right? Like let's say if I wanted to do that same look but with gamma and lift, I can do that just with with gain and lift. I can do that with gain and lift just like that. And then if I switch in between, it's very similar looking, even though one is curves and one is lift, gamma, and gain. Does that make sense? King, thank you. Thank you so much for hanging out. Really appreciate it. Yep, see you on Discord. Is time-lapse deflicker working? I tried it and it didn't seem to do much. I don't know. I haven't played with that a lot. I haven't really played with it at all because I haven't done any time-lapses recently. It's possible it's not working. It's also possible that there are settings that you have to get just right. I don't know. I'm sorry. Mist is weird. I can't get it to work quite how I want. Yeah. What is Mist? It's like a certain kind of blur that is, honestly, I don't really know a lot about it, but it's a different kind of blur. And so like, I don't know, let's just play with it. So like here's Mist at 1.5, right? And then here's blur at 1.5. I don't even know if it works this way, honestly. It might just be different settings or something. Oops. Not like that. No, no. No, no! So in between these two. Yeah, I'm actually probably dumb. It probably just, I don't even know if it works that way, honestly. I'm not really sure the full difference, but I know that a lot of people like it for like adjusting skin and stuff. So I just haven't worked with it. I don't know. Okay. Uh-oh. Cute attack. My sweet children are bringing us snacks because I have a spoiled life. Are you gonna come? Are you gonna bring me a snack? Here. This is cute. Come here. Thank you. Oh, do you want to say hi to the live stream? Do you want to say hi? Look. Say thank you. Anyway, cute kid alert. All right. Ugh. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you. Man. Do you want to say hi? This is Bryce. Say hi. Aww. All right. See you later. Thanks for bringing us snacks. See you later. Man. So cute. All right. Giveaway. Wait, too soon? We'll be doing another giveaway in just a few minutes, guys. I'm going to try and get to the rest of the questions, but we are going to be heading out in just a few minutes. So just so you know, might not get to all of them, but feel free to post them on Discord. I'll try and get to them. I think mist is just a bunch of water particles in the air. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. So important. Important contribution. Can you do special animated effects in Resolve like a gunshot through the head or a fight scene, for example? Man, you probably could do stuff, but it's real awkward to do that stuff in Resolve. That's more probably along Fusion's lines or After Effects lines Resolve isn't really for that type of stuff. Like, you could do that stuff about as well as you could in Premiere, probably. You know? What's the offset wheel for? Is there an auto white balance filter? Yeah, offset wheel is just to move everything all at once. And so this is make everything blue. It's like adjusting every single thing in the image all at once. And same with offset, it's moving the brightness of the image up and down. So I honestly don't use offset a lot. Like, if you have white balance that's way, way off, it might be good to like give you a good starting point with the offset. But it's just another tool. Auto white balance, there is like a white balance like eyedropper thing, which this isn't, white balance isn't really messed up here, but I find like that is a little bit confusing to use because it doesn't like reflect in your tools, and so it's really hard to like figure out what it did. And so like I just messed this whole thing up, and like I can't tell why it's messed up at all. You know, like it doesn't come up in my wheels or anything. It might come up over here. No, it doesn't. And so that's why I don't like it, is because it's really hard to tell like where you're at if you hit the auto white balance thing. The best thing for automatic white balancing things I found are these little things right here, these little crosshairs. So you can pick what you want to be white, like maybe this girl's shoes need to be white, and then you can just bring the gain down to make sure that it's actually white. Same thing you can do with black. We need to find something that's actually black, so maybe this back here. And then you can adjust it, and that'll help you white balance a little easier. But I don't particularly like the auto white balance or the auto color. It just doesn't seem to work very well to me. You can use mist for some glow effect or dream effect in the highlights. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'll have to do some research in that. I definitely will, and make a tutorial with my findings, because I just haven't used it much. Can you do a quick example of tracking text with a moving object? I can never get it to work in Resolve 14. That takes a little while to do, and it's honestly it's not super great. In Resolve, you can do it, but it's also kind of one of those things that you probably want to do in like After Effects or Mocha or like Fusion. I just don't think we have time to go into that. I do have a tutorial on that. That's probably a lot better than I could kind of stumble through right now just from memory. But I do have a tutorial on that. Where can I find raw footage for grading? I know Blackmagic has, or at least did have some on their website. Just do a Google search. I don't know a specific place for it right now. We do have some. What was that? We do have some practice footage. It's not shot in RAW, but it's some footage that's shot in D-Log on the Mavic Pro. And so we are coming out with like some more color grading practice footage so you guys can practice grading. Also, this footage is from Film Pack, which is just a lot of really nice footage shot in log that you can grade, but I don't think they have raw stuff either. I think you can also like buy some raw footage like from like Video Hive and stuff, but I don't think there's a big place that I know about that does that. If you guys know, you're welcome to post in the chat. I saw that motion tracking windows and options changed in 14. What is the main differences in how to get control of the old options again? Motion tracking windows and stuff changed in 14? I don't feel like they changed very much. I feel like they're pretty darn similar. Oh, well, okay, yeah, I know what you mean. There's like the cloud tracker and the point tracker and stuff. Honestly, I haven't like seen much of a difference. You can switch back to point tracker if you want, but man, I don't know, it works great for me. So do you have like a specific thing that is frustrating about that? Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, hit film can do stuff too. Hit film's getting better for sure. Let me see if I can get to all the rest. What's the hardware you're using again? Is it a tangent? Also, do you did I already read that one? Sorry, I'm lost, you guys. Lost! Ah! Okay, in case you missed it, this is a tangent ripple. It's a really good basic surface, and yes, I definitely recommend doing a 3-button mouse for resolve. That's important. How do you keep tracking an object behind something else? Let's see if I have a good example of that. I don't think I have something with like, this might do it. Okay, let's say I want to track like this red flower. I might not have time to do the whole thing here, but generally the idea is you'll want to put a window over whatever you're tracking, right? And so let's say I want to track this flower. I'll hit Control T to track it. And then, oh no, her arm goes in front of it, right? So when her arm goes in front of it, what I can do is I can move this over and keep tracking for at least a few frames until her arm's back. And with these flowers might not work because they're all moving separately, but once like whatever is gone that was in front of it, you can move it back. So let's see if this is gonna go. Of course, it's blocked forever now. There we go. Okay, so let's say I want to move it back here, then I can continue to track like that. And then the idea is, this might not work with the flowers because they're all moving separately, but it should pretty much stay over where that flower is. And so that's an easy way to kind of get it tracking a little bit easier. Again, this is a really weird example, but the point is that you can move it off and track something that's moving the same, and then move it back. And the mask doesn't move how you move it, it's just tracking the motion, and then it applies it later. So it's a really easy way to do that. I have a tutorial on tracking tricky things, that's what it's called, and it goes over that really, really well. So $300 upgrade from the free version worth it if you only want noise reduction. I have Micro Four Thirds and really want to get rid of that noise for the low light footage. If you're doing stuff in low light all the time and you're doing a lot of noise reduction, it's pretty darn good noise reduction. I don't know how much Neat Video is. Like I did a bunch. I've done tons of stuff with the free version and Neat Video. Yeah. Denoiser, I probably wouldn't recommend. Like, Magic Bullet Denoiser, like compared to Neat Video or Resolve, I don't think it's as good. And it seems, I think it's more expensive, isn't it? Okay. Okay, so thanks, Adrian. Appreciate that. I have no experience with Resolve on Linux. Sorry, guys. How much do I charge by work? If you have something specific, you can email me, and we'll talk about it. So that's pretty much that. Let's do one more LUT giveaway, and then I'm gonna head out. We're gonna do a giveaway right now, Joe. So that is awesome. All right, I'm resetting everybody. Let's do giveaway 2. Okay, so if you type in the chat giveaway 2, just like that, giveaway 2, type that in and that will make you eligible for our last LUT giveaway. Good job, you guys. That's the easiest way to do it. I could probably do one quick question before we go while we're waiting for that giveaway thing. So if anybody has one, now's your chance. Awesome. You guys have been wonderful today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your kind words. And thank you for buying Ground Control LUTs and for supporting the YouTube channel. It really means a lot. Really means a lot to us. That's how we make our living. So thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate it. You guys are wonderful. If you guys have more questions, if you want to hang out, if you want to kind of connect with the color grading community, connect with ground control staff, things like that, join the ground control Discord here. Thanks, Dan Bernard. You do best, you do best, you do best. Go and check that out because that's kind of like our new community, our new forum that we're trying to get so that we can kind of work together, be friends, form a community there of people who are trying to learn color grading, trying to do post-production better. You can share your work, you can get feedback, you can do all the things. All the details are here. Looks like some of you guys have joined. That's really awesome. Again, there's like not a ton going on right now because we just made it. Like we just released it today. So go and join and start some introductions. Start saying hey. That's what we want. That would be awesome. Thank you for the free tutorials. By the way, your Vengeance pack is killer. Thank you. That is really nice of you. Appreciate that. Really appreciate that. You won a giveaway and then bought a set straight after. Well, that makes us want to continue doing giveaways. That's awesome. Great. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Yeah, you guys, if you haven't checked out the Ultimate Crash Course, that's a pretty good video if you want to learn Resolve. Again, I'm biased, but I think it's pretty nice. Okay, so we're going to do our giveaway here. So this is your last chance. Type giveaway 2. If you've already typed it, you're entered. You don't get more tickets or anything if you entered a bunch. But if you haven't typed it, giveaway 2. It's your last chance. Wow, Sleet TV, you've watched every single one of my videos? That's awesome, man. Wow. I'm so sorry. You get to hear me say things like, don't go crazy, let's not go crazy here, all the time. All right, here we go. We're doing it. Last chance. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick a winner. Okay, I'm picking it. The winner is someone called My Bear. My Bear has won the giveaway. Is something that was typed in chat today. Congratulations, my bear. That is the coolest screen name. I love that. Good job, my bear. You are my bear, and thank you for winning. Email info@groundcontrolcolor.com. Tell us that you won a thing on the live stream, and we will send you your LUT pack of your choice. Congrats, bear. You the best. All right, you guys. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you guys. We will be doing a live stream again probably next month, probably around the mid-month again. So until then, go hang out on Discord. Please go sign up. And remember, we're doing an exclusive coupon code tomorrow for only people in Discord. So you have to be signed up. You have to check the whole this thing right here, Discord exclusives. It'll be right here. Okay? Go and post there. Say hi. That would be awesome. So, we love you guys. It's been great. I will see you on the flip side. Yeah. Yeah, that was a... Get that timer out of here. That was a... Michaela Peerlings, thank you for subscribing. I thought that was a good outro. I thought that was a really good outro. Yeah! Yeah! Man, stream doesn't begin then. Let's just look at this for a while. Man. That was a good outro. Super solid. Good stream. Yeah.